Hi guys, Mr. B here. Sorry I couldn't make it. Pretty sick. I had like strep throat or something like that. No, I have strep throat. So, that being said, since I'm not supposed to get you guys sick, but we still gotta move on with curriculum, I'm gonna do my best to teach you guys this new lesson through this video, and hopefully it works. First matter of business. The makeup day. This is the day where if you need to you need to get your grade up for some reason, if you have a really high B and you want an A, or if you have a D and you want to get to a C or something like that, you can come in during this day, and this will be Saturday, December 12th. Okay, that is not this coming Saturday, it is next Saturday, and it will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I'm sorry I couldn't make this one, but doctor said I'm contagious and I need to stay home until Monday. So I'll see you guys Monday. But until then, this is the makeup day. I sent home emails and all that, so please take note of this. Alright? But yeah, our lesson for today is, let's see, what's the title of this thing? This title is called, here we go. This is called Special Right Triangles. Okay. And there's two scenarios that we have for special right triangles. We have two of them. Okay. The first triangle that we have is a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. Okay. So this is if we have a triangle like such. Okay, this is a right triangle, and I'm going to do my best to draw this. Okay. And both of the other angles are 45 degrees. So this is a 45 degree angle, and this is also a 45 degree angle. Okay, so 45, 45, 90. Okay, and what it says is that for whatever the side is, the smaller side, okay, since these are both 45 degrees, this is an isosceles triangle. So since it's isosceles, both of these side lengths are equal. And the hypotenuse of a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle is equal to that same side length times the square root of 2. Okay. Don't believe me? Check it out. So here's an example. We have a triangle. Actually, here, we'll use the tool to help us draw triangles because Mr. Bringetto can't draw. Alright, so let's say we have a triangle that has, let's see, side length of 4. Let's go with 4. Okay. So if I were to use the Pythagorean theorem, remember that's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. I'd plug in the 4 to each of them, so we got 4 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. Okay, just plugging in the smaller sides. Remember, the hypotenuse is always the c value, and hypotenuse is always opposite the 90 degree angle. Okay, we don't know what c is. So 4 squared is 16, and the other 4 squared is 16, and that's equal to c squared. 16 plus 16 is 32. That's equal to c squared. And when we square root both sides, we use the factor tree to break it down. So this breaks into 16 and 2, and 16 breaks into 4 and 4. So since we have a pair, we can stop right here, and we get C equals 4 times the square root of 2, which is exactly what this theorem says it would be. It should be the side length, which is 4, times the square root of 2. Okay, so that's the first theorem. So just remember, it's whatever, if you have a 45, 45, 90 triangle, whatever the side length is, the hypotenuse is that same number times root 2. Okay. The next thing that we're going to go over, I'll go ahead and clearing this up. I'll give you a little bit of time to take it down. You guys can talk to each other if you need to, just to clear some stuff up. Pythagorean theorem will always work. You can always use the Pythagorean theorem, but this is a nice little shortcut for special triangles. If you have a 45, 45, 90, you can just do this right away and get your answer. Okay, Pythagorean theorem always works for right triangles. Okay. The other special right triangle that we have is called a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Okay, 30, 60, 90. And the 30, 60, 90 triangle theorem says if you have a triangle, okay, it has to be a right triangle, and one of the measurements of the angles is 30 degrees and the other one is 60 degrees. Okay. Whatever side is opposite the 30 degrees, we'll call this S. Okay. Whatever side is opposite the 30 degrees, the length of the side that's opposite the 60 degrees is going to be that same number times the square root of 3, and the length of the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the side value. So for a 30, 60, 90 triangle, the square root of 3 is opposite the 60 degree angle. Okay, so S root 3 is opposite the 60 degree angle right here. The side length that we're looking at is always on the opposite side of the 30 degree angle. And the hypotenuse is always 2 times the side length of the smallest side. Okay, so let's look at an example here. Okay. So, that's not right. There we go, we want this triangle. Okay, so we got a triangle here. It is a right triangle. And this is the 30 degrees. And this is the 60. The length of the longer side is 5. And we got D and F. And we want to solve for D and F. So remember, whatever the shortest side is, the shortest side in this case is D. And that means that the side opposite the 60 should be D times the square root of 3. And that should equal 5. So if I want to solve for D, then that means I have to divide both sides by the square root of 3. Okay. And remember, we can't have a square root on the bottom of the fraction. Denominators cannot have square roots, so we have to rationalize it. So we're going to multiply the top and bottom of this fraction by the square root of 3. So on the top, sorry, real quick, that shouldn't be an equal sign. That should be times. So 5 times the square root of 3 is 5 root 3. And root 3 times root 3 is just 3. So our d value is 5 times the square root of 3 over 3. Okay. So for f, remember we want to find f, which is the hypotenuse, and f is equal to 2 times whatever the length is over here. So that's 2 times d. So that's equal to 2 times 5 root 3 over 3, which gives us an answer of 10 the square root of 3 over 3. And that is our f value. Okay, so we can take a look at number 1. For number 1, let's this is on your homework. We'll do a couple of examples real quick. Okay. So, number 1. Number 1 gives you a triangle. It is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. And one of the side lengths is 30. The other one is x. And the other thing is y. We have to solve for x and y. So remember, since this is an isosceles triangle, okay, that means these two side lengths are equal to each other. So right away we could say that x is equal to 30. And then the y value is going to be equal to whatever the side length is, 30, times the square root of 2. And that's it. That's all you have to do. So you have to memorize those special right triangles. Have them written down next to you, handy, ready to look at. Let's do number 2 together, and then you guys will be set to go ahead and do it on your own. Let me make it look like your problem. Okay. I did the triangle backwards, didn't I? Gosh darn it, Bringhetto. Come on. Triangle's backwards. Wait a second. I can't make it look like yours. I think I can if I make it flip. Oh well, we'll make it work. Alright, so we've got 30 degrees down in this section, 90 degrees here, and 60 degrees up top. This length is y, hypotenuse is x, and the longer side is 45. So remember, whatever this y side is, the 60 degree part, the altitude of the triangle should be equal to y times the square root of 3, and that will equal 45. So we have to divide both sides by the square root of 3. And remember, we can't leave a radical on the bottom, so we have to rationalize it. So we multiply top and bottom by square root of 3. 45 times root 3 is 45 root 3. And root 3 times root 3 just leaves us with 3. And we can simplify it a little bit further. 45 divided by 3, that's going to leave us with y equals 15 times the square root of 3. That's our y value. So if I want x, remember, this hypotenuse is always equal to 2 times whatever the smallest side is, which is y. So that's equal to 2 times 15 root 3 for a total of 30 root 3. And there you have it. That was number 2. So, to summarize everything up, what you need to know 100% and always. Okay, I'll leave this up, but I'll get rid of this, I think. What you need to know is if you have two special triangles, the first one, which is the 45, 45, 90, that's S, that's S, that's S times the square root of 2. And again, that's for 45, 45, 90. And you also need to know if you have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. If you have a side length here, the hypotenuse is 2 times that side length. And the bottom is that side length times the square root of 3. Okay. As long as you have these memorized, you will be good to go. Okay. So, memorize these things. Okay, guys, go ahead and get started on your homework, and I will see you Monday. Remember, not this weekend. Saturday is not the makeup day. It is next Saturday, December 12th. I will not be in town at all this Saturday. All right, guys, take it easy.